Welcome back to my channel, Savi Talks by Savera. I'm gonna start this video with a short story. And just like other stories, mine's also started with long ago. Long ago, but there was a vast kingdom. There was a general who was really popular within his people. So, obviously, people loved him. But some of the people envied his popularity. So they murdered him. The people of the kingdom wanted answers. So these murderers just gave some excuses and made up some lies which the people thought was the truth. Then one close friend of the general came up to all these people and told that this is not true. He started to say a speech, and then in the end he told how good this general is. And then these people started to become angry at the murderers. You might be familiar of the story. This is not a story, but one chapter of history. And it is also one of the dramas of the greatest English literature writer, William Shakespeare. This drama's name is Julius Caesar. So the main character will be Julius Caesar, who is a general. The murderers were Brutus, Cassius, and some other people. And the close friend who gave the speech which made the people get angry to the murderers is Mark Antony. We're going to be talking about Mark Antony's speech. How did he actually change people's emotions? How did he make them convinced that Julius Caesar was a good person? Let's find out by starting with the speech. The speech starts with friends, Romans, countrymen. Lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him.
This is the starting part of the speech. It first uses a gentle approach. Mark Antony comes up to all these people, first stating to all these people politely. Then he says, I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. This makes people think, what does he want to say? Is it something important? I want to hear what he's saying. And he's clearly stating that he's not siding with Caesar. But there is some things that he wants to speak. So the people obviously are supporting the murderers. And now want to hear what he has to say. Now remember, the people or the mob are really happy with Caesar's murder. They're happy that Caesar died. And they will be obviously really angry to the people who might say Caesar was actually a good person and he was not bad, but the murderers are bad. If anybody says this, then obviously they'll become an angry mob towards that particular person. Knowing the situation, Mark Antony came up by siding with the murderers first, but giving a clear explanation that he wants to say a few words based on this. After this, it says, the good is often interred with the bones, so let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus had told you Caesar was ambitious. If it was so, it was a grievous fault, and grievously had Caesar answered it.
The evil that men do lives after them. The good is often interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus have told you Caesar was ambitious. If it was so, it was a grievous fault. Grievously hath Caesar answered it.
This sentence is stating that Mark Antony saying that Caesar, like most of the people, goodness is often inside them. It's coming within them. It's not something made. If you can change it, but let it be with Caesar also, that let he also be have a good time in his afterlife. Then he's saying that the noble Brutus had told you Caesar was ambitious. Here's the thing he's saying: the noble Brutus had told you that Caesar was ambitious. It's saying Brutus said, not anybody, but only Brutus said that Caesar was ambitious. He's making this something to point out. He's pointing it out that only Brutus told that Caesar was ambitious. And if Caesar was ambitious, yeah, it was a grievous fault, and grievously has Caesar answered it. Means it caused him his death because he was ambitious. This is what, just like I told you in the beginning, he is saying that Brutus is a correct person and not Caesar. And he's also saying what all Brutus said, that Caesar was ambitious. After saying a few more lines, Mark Antony thought that this might be the perfect opportunity to get the people to think a few things: is the murderers right or wrong? So Mark Antony thought of a plan, and then with his speech, he said, had Caesar brought many captives to Rome, whose generals' coffers fill, did this in Caesar seem ambitious? When the poor have cried, Caesar hath wept. Ambitious should be made of sterner stuff.
He hath brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransoms did the general coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious? When that the poor have cried, Caesar hath wept. Ambition should be made of sterner stuff. Yet Brutus says he was ambitious.
This is where the people is thinking, are the murderers telling the truth or not? But stating when Caesar had brought many captives to Rome, means many people who are against Rome and all, he had brought many of them to Rome and filled the general's coffers, means the dungeon or prison, we can say in this year's term, this generation. It filled it in this. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious? Because Brutus had told that Caesar was ambitious. And why did he bring many captives to Rome? He could have just left it and just become greedy with wealth, fame, and popularity. But why did he help Rome and his people? And he also said that when the poor had cried, when the poor had nothing at all, Caesar had wept. He also with them felt the pain. Ambitious should be made of sterner stuff. Means ambitious should be more of selfish, greedy, not caring about other people, always absorbed in themselves. So why did Caesar help these poor, and why did he bring the captives to Rome? Was this ambitious? And this is not ambitious. Mark Antony stating that ambitious should be made of sterner stuff, and this does not seem ambitious. Now, I'm only going to say the speech this much, but I'll give you some small tips that can also help you for any speech you're going to use, and if you want to also change a mob. So, the first one is you can use repetition of words. If you have heard or read the speech of Mark Antony, you would have noticed that in During the speech, he has repeated honorable and ambitious many times. Why did he say that? Because this is actually a small trick that he's using. When somebody says a word, a meaningful word, many times, repeating it again and again, it suddenly sounds nothing, just a sound coming out of your mouth. It does not have any meaning, it's nothing. You can also try it out like right now. For example, happiness. Happiness has a deep meaning. That means you're happy, something good is happening and all. But if you keep saying the word happiness again and again, repeating it, then you will also notice that this happiness don't actually have any meaning. So when Mark Antony said Brutus is an honorable man and Brutus says Caesar was ambitious, it meant the complete opposite. The second one is using some questions or any sentences, phrases, anything that you can relate to give an obvious answer. If you're asked to go out with somebody, if they ask, can we go to the park or to the movies or for shopping, you can give a simple question like, is water there on earth or is the sky blue? The answer is yes. Okay, sometimes the sky is not blue and all, but generally it is. This is something that Mark Antony has used in the speech, like the captives and also the poor. He has used this within the speech. This made people think, was Caesar actually ambitious? No, he was not ambitious. Third is to unlock the curiosity of people by using anything that is possible. If you have looked through the speech, you might have seen that almost to the end that Mark Antony is saying that I really want to say the will of Caesar, but I don't want to because you might be not interested in hearing. He repeated this at least 3 to 4 times, which made the people to tell, what is it? What do you want to say? What did Caesar write in the will? It made the people really curious. So you can also give something that unlocks the curiosity of the audience. So they can be engaged and want to know what is happening. Give you one more, using emotion in it. If you give any good memories in this, then it will really change the whole thing. So that's it, I want to say. I hope you understood whatever how Mark Antony's speech is a huge thing and why is people really fond of it. I will recommend you a book which has a lot of speeches. It's called The Great Speeches. This book has speeches of many great people. You can check it out and read Mark Antony's speech, which is in there in this book. So I hope you like my video. If you like my video, please like, share, subscribe, and comment down for any opinions or questions you have. And make sure to hit the notification bell to make you notified whenever my videos are coming. Bye!
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is often interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus have told you Caesar was ambitious. If it was so, it was a grievous fault. And grievously hath Caesar answered it. Here, under leave of Brutus and the rest, But Brutus is an honorable man. Aye. So are they all honorable men. Come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious. And Brutus is an honorable man. He hath brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransoms did the general coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious, when that the poor have cried, Caesar hath wept? Ambition should be made of sterner stuff. Yet Brutus says he was ambitious.